Hey there, welcome back. In this demo, I'm going to briefly discuss the SQL management tools, what they are and how they're different from the RDBMSs. I'm also going to review, as a refresher, what the SQLs are and also walk you through some of the most commonly used SQL management tools. So without any further ado, let's get going. So I'm going to start by reminding you that as data scientists, it's very important for you to solidify your understanding of the key components of SQL, RDBMS, and SQL Management Tool, which are three different things. So I'm sure by now you know what SQL is. I'm still going to refresh your memory by describing it as nothing but a database management language that we use to communicate with databases. Simple as that. SQL is the language that we use to communicate with the database management system. So on the other hand, the RDBMS is the receiver of the SQL, right? And it's short for Relational Database Management System. It's relational databases because they're relational, right? And to know more about the concepts of re- relational, non-relational, structured versus unstructured, and how they apply and what kind of implication they have with databases, please refer to my video on Introduction to SQL. But so in this case, as I said, the RDBMS is the receiver of those SQL operations. So RDBMS, as the relational databases, some of the most famous, or commonly used databases that are available in the market and are also commonly used are Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, etc., PostgreSQL, etc. So on the other hand, we have the SQL Management Tool now. Now, SQL Management Tool is the tool that we use to apply our SQLs to communicate with RDBMS, if it makes sense. So, so if we have RDBMS, which is a database, and then we have the management tool that we use as the management interface to communicate with the database. But then we use the SQL, right, as the language to communicate with the database, because the only language that the database knows is SQL language, if it makes sense. So the various types of SQL management tools available in the market these days are these, which are dbeaver, DB visualizers, SQLite database browser, EMS SQL Manager, Firebird, DB comparer, Heidi SQL. So each of these tools have their own feature used for their efficacy and high performance of database management processes. I have personally used dbeaver and DB Visualizer in the past. I have not used any of these other management tools. So I'm going to add some input about dbeaver and DB Visualizer. So dbeaver is pretty much like I explained, it's a management tool that has a broad range of features that you can use to communicate with database. Features such as creating, query execution, design, DDLs, editing, all those. And it's more like a universal a management tool because it allows you to connect with multiple database management systems. At least I have connected with Oracle. I've connected with PostgreSQL. I've also connected with Redshift. So it's what we call it's a JDBC compliant management tool, which is that it allows you to be able to connect with a database using the JDBC drivers. So on the other hand, the visualizer is a little bit more, has more visualizing features. It's also universal that you can use to that can handle JDBC driver, and you can use it for MySQL, Oracle, Informax, a bunch of other databases. So it's friendly because as I said, it allows you to navigate through different visualizations and objects of the databases. And the GUI, the GUI itself has some, interactivity and visual tools for you to create a database and execute the queries. So the more visualization, the better, because you're already using SQL commands and queries and codes. So if you can have the type of a user interface that allows you to be able to easily at least use the objects that are built in on the management tool, that makes it a lot easier, so you don't have to do those extra works through a script. Um, it also allows you to, to do the auto completion when you're writing your SQL on the script editor. dbeaver has the same thing. dbeaver also, but visualizer is a little bit more advanced in terms of auto completion, autocomplete options. And also it helps you with it also runs both dbeaver and db visualizer. They both run on operating systems like Windows and Mac. I've used them both for Windows. I've never used them for Mac or Linux. The rest of these management tools I don't have a lot of information about. Apparently EMS SQL Manager is a substitute for the Microsoft SQL Management, Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. That's MSMS, that you can use to communicate with SQL Server. I've not used Firebird or DB Compare or HD SQL. But a lot of these tools are universal. That means that, like for example, dbeaver. So if you learn dbeaver, right, as a management IDE management tool, then you can connect and communicate with a lot of databases that you won't need to use a second one. For example, it's not like you can use dbeaver for Oracle, then for, let's say, for PostgreSQL, then you have to use let's say Firebird. dbeaver pretty much has a bunch of connectivity features for you has features to connect to a bunch of databases. Simple as that. I've also used those exclusive special management tools that comes with some of these RDBMSs. Like for PostgreSQL, I've used PJ-admin for. That's also very user friendly. It has options for you to perform as the database administrator, for you to perform like storages and security policy implementations, kind of do DDL stuff using like drop down menus. So it has those features, and a lot of my demos on SQL commands are done in pgadmin. All right, this is it for this video. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next